Hello everybody, I'm Krasi, and today I will talk about the transit of the Sun in Pisces. I am not talking about every transit of the Sun because the transits of the Sun are very predictable. We know that the Sun stays in every zodiacal sign for 1 month, and uh, this particular transit is more interesting because it's happening with in Pisces. And you know that very recently we had the first, on the 8th of March actually, we saw the first lunar crescent before the Sun enters the equinox, the vernal, the spring equinox, which is the 5 degrees of Pisces. So Pisces is the sign which is very, very, very important for our era. It is ruling us. It is giving the image of the humanity, of the era that we're living in, because the vernal equinox is happening in the 5 degrees of Pisces for our particular timing. So I spoke about the new year, which is seeing the first equinox before we see the Sun in Pisces, and now we are seeing the Sun entering Pisces. And this is important because the energies of Pisces are the most influential energies for humanity. And the Sun is entering Pisces on the 16th of March to stay there for exactly 30 days. So what is happening? The Sun is passing through the different sections of Pisces, which are called terms. So the first term is ruled by Venus, the second of Jupiter, the third by Mercury, then Mars, and then Saturn. So we will see how this will influence us, of course. But what is interesting is that especially around the degrees of the equinox, which is the 4th, the 5th degrees, which are the 4th and the 5th days after the Sun enters Pisces, are very powerful for everything, for praying, for meditation, for planting. So this is important to know. Now, Pisces in antiquity. Pisces was ruled by Nanshe. Now, Nanshe, according to the ancient Babylonian mythology, Nanshe and Marduk are children of Enki. And Enki actually is the god of the sweet underwater, of the sweet oceans under the ground. So Enki is believed, according to the epic of creation, to be the father of humanity, the one who modified our DNA in order to create the humans the way they are now. So Enki is actually believed to be ruling Neptune. And Neptune, together with Jupiter, of course, are ruling Pisces. So Enki is about wisdom, also magic, and it is ruling, it is the divinity of Neptune. But let's see Pisces. Now, Nanshe and Marduk is believed to be the divinity of Jupiter. So Nanshe and Marduk are the children of Enki. So Nanshe is the one, who would protect the weak and who would punish the ones that would abuse or insult the weak or the poor. So she's protective goddess, divinity. Nanshe is also the one who is analyzing and making interpretation of dreams. And her symbol is the fish, Pisces. So fishes, Pisces, are ruled by Nanshe, the divinity of dreams. So this is the one that is about dreams, about magic, about wisdom, about punishing the bad and rewarding the good and the poor, is exactly what we know the Pisces to be. And this is and the Sun is entering Pisces. So what is happening is, as I told you, the first 5 days are very important. From the 16th of March until 28th of March, the Sun is entering very beneficial, benefic section, which is ruled by Venus. And if you have Pisces on particularly important place in your chart, ruling your ascendant, midheaven, Sun in Pisces, Moon in Pisces, benefit in a very spiritual way from these particular degrees. You may powerfully enhance your intuition, or do studies, or do any activity that will be supported by Venus. Beauty, sharing your knowledge, doing beautify the place around you, plant flowers. So this will be very, very nice. From the 28th of March until 1st of April, the Sun is entering the degrees which are ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is ruling Pisces, so these are wonderful degrees where Jupiter will be, where the Sun will be experiencing the real energies of Pisces, about studies, again intuition. It would be about empathy, helping others. Now, I forgot to tell you something very important from the start before I continue with the next section, which will be ruled by Mercury, and which will be from the 1st until the 4th of April. So what is very important to know? The most important thing that I had to start with. Now, when I describe Pisces and the era that we live in, it is also so that in our era, the place of exaltation of the Sun is Pisces. Now, the ideal position, the ideal exaltation, the hidden place of the Sun, of course, is Aries. And the ancients in Mesopotamia had lists of everything: ideal place, ideal list of wood, ideal list of wine, ideal list of beer, ideal list of everything. They had also ideal placements of exaltations, and there is particular reason behind this, but the ideal exaltation of the Sun indeed is Aries. But for our era, the Sun is enlightening Aries. So exactly this is how we can benefit from this transit of the Sun: enlightenment, knowledge, studies, connecting with our higher self, meditation. So this is important to tell you. The Sun is feeling wonderful in our era, in our particular time, in Pisces. So from the 1st to the 4th of April, the Sun is passing through the Mercurian section, which is ruled by, of Pisces, which is ruled by Mercury. So this is about empathy, studies, astrology, not so much about trade, not so much about communication, because remember, during this particular time, Mercury is invisible and is becoming retrograde. I am not absolutely giving negative connotation to the retrograde phase of Mercury. Mercury, while invisible, is serving us less, so to say. So Mercury will be invisible in a very near conjunction with the Sun. So I would say that these particular days we don't use for communication, new beginnings, but we use it again and again for knowledge. Let's not forget, before I continue with the next section, which is ruled by Mars, and when the Sun will be from the 4th of April until 13th of April, the Sun will be in the section ruled by Mars. Let's not forget something else, that during all the complete transit of the Sun in Pisces, Saturn is squaring Pisces from the Sagittarius. So Saturn and Pluto basically are squaring the Sun. This is how will this manifest? Well, this is indeed limiting a little bit the Sun. it is very practical. It is very practical for organizing our knowledge, for organizing our emotions, for fixing our relationships with fathers, with husbands, with superiors. So this is how we can benefit from this. Let's not forget that especially from the 7th of April until 11th of April, the Sun and Saturn will be in exact square. So this will limit a little bit the shining influence of the Sun and the giving energy influence of the Sun, especially if on the ascendant, if conjunct with our natal Sun, natal Moon, midheaven, descendant, imum celi, and so on. But still, if we're very well organized, if we're structuring our everyday activities, if we are time-oriented, if we are very moral, that would say to be moral, the way we treat others, to be empathic, to say the truth, we will then benefit very well from Saturn, because this is what he wants from us. Also, if Saturn is square in our natal important position, natal Sun, natal Moon, natal Ascendant, this is very important to know. So from the 4th of April until 13th of April, the Sun is entering Martian term. This is also, the whole Pisces is a beautiful place. And there we are entering a cluster of very powerful spiritual stars, especially from 20 degrees Pisces onwards. We are having very important stars, very, very much about spirituality, intuition, clairvoyance. Now, when the Sun is going to be in the Martian term, I see this not as a clash of energy, but more as a desire and ambition to create, to do it, to be initiative, to undertake, to be active. This will be limited by Saturn, however, and therefore, whatever you experience, I do not advise any new beginnings during this particular period. Also, from the 28th of March until 1st of April, while the Sun is in the place of Jupiter, this can be quite positive in terms of finances, but again, no new beginnings would be appropriate because Saturn will be quite limiting. And then on the 13th of April until 15th of April, the Sun will be in the last degrees, and we said that the last degrees are not really very auspicious, the last degrees of every sign, and these particular last degrees of Pisces are ruled by Saturn. So how to benefit from this? And then we are going to have the influences of the square of Saturn and Pluto, let's not forget. So how to benefit from these energies? I see this through, again, structure, very high moral values, attention to others, empathy. So all this is very important. And of course, studies, addressing ancient philosophical studies, what Saturn is about, respecting father figures, fixing a relationship, if not fixed, with father figures, with superiors. All this is very important until on the 15th of April, Saturn will leave, the Sun will leave Pisces to enter his ideal exaltation place, which is Aries. There the energies will be very, very different, but while the Sun is in Pisces, I also see these energies are very beautiful, very productive and fruitful for many things, even for agriculture, but also for our own knowledge and connection with our higher selves and spiritual awakening maybe. So with this I'm completing. Thank you.